Ladies and gentlemen, this is the senator who is also a doctor. Meet Senator Rand Paul. This is his tweet. He says, does this mean snot-nosed censors at YouTube will come to my office and kiss my and admit I was right? Let's see what the article says. Here's the title of the article from Fox News, written by Andrew Mark Miller. Rand Paul asks if YouTube will kiss my and apologize after CDC revises mask guidance. U.S. Senator Rand Paul hit back at YouTube censors on Saturday after the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention acknowledged that cloth masks do not work as well against the coronavirus as N95 masks. Says makes, it's supposed to say mask. The Kentucky Republican wondered if YouTube would be apologizing for suspending him earlier this year for saying the same thing. Does this mean snot-nosed censors at YouTube will come to my office and kiss my and admit I was right, Paul wrote. In a New York Times article cited by Paul, who's a certified physician, like I told you, the CDC revised its previous position on masks, saying that loosely woven cloth products provide the least protection and recommended surgical masks instead. In August, YouTube suspended Paul over a 3-minute video questioning the effectiveness of cloth masks, which several studies have shown are not effective in stopping the spread of viruses like the coronavirus. YouTube did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Fox News. The CDC has been blasted for misleading guidance in recent weeks, notably its confusing update on the amount of time those infected with the coronavirus or one of its variants should quarantine and the efficacy of rapid testing. The agency was previously hit for changing guidance on masking. And it continued to add to the confusion this week after the agency recommended that people opt for N95 or KN95 masks for protection against the highly contagious Omicron variant. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky has chalked up the CDC's fluctuating health guidance to simply following the science, but her explanation hasn't stopped even mainstream media from asking her why Americans should trust the agency. Ladies, gentlemen, and so science changes. I get that. And there's going to be confusing guidelines, and they're learning as they go. I get that. At the same time, when you have big tech companies saying what you can and can't say and stopping ideas from getting out there, that's when you have a problem, see? And that's why we are where we are now, because people overregulated. You had these, how should I put it? Hypocrite is a good word. Over-enthusiastic hypocrites like Nancy Pelosi coming out and saying, no, we got to do this and this works and blah, blah, blah. If you look at the same time, she's, at the height of the pandemic, she's going to get her hair done without a mask. When she has shut down all these hairdressers, you don't think that hairdressers are going to say something? I guarantee you do not tip her enough to keep her business running, even though you actually would have the money to do it. But now we're getting to the full outblown conclusion, right? Places like YouTube aren't focused on business. They're focused on pushing the woke narrative, right? On pushing the leftist agenda. If you're going to run a business, you have to be focused on business. Get focused on business. Business is getting as many customers as possible, making as much money as possible, not pushing an agenda or a narrative. I don't know who's running these places, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or maybe they've just gotten too big to care about their consumers anymore. You have to care about your consumers. Let me know what you thought about that article about Dr. Rand Paul. And hit me up in the comments. Like, subscribe, share. And as always, especially in these days and times, keep your powder dry and do what you got to do.